Good evening, viewers and listeners, and welcome to another edition of the program Serving the People, brought to you every Wednesday evening at 6:30 on SVG TV by me, your host, Mrs. Anissa Batiste. Please let us start with a word of prayer. Loving Father in heaven, bless me as I speak to the people the truth concerning the things that affect us as a society. Please help us to be more united and loving one toward another as we go forward in nation building. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And now, my dear viewers and listeners, remember that you may contact me by telephone number 5281015, or you may send an email. The address is servingthepeople.ab@gmail.com. In this evening's program, we will talk about education, community development, and we will also make a special appeal. In the first segment, we look at two interviews with residents on Canouan about the need for secondary education on the island of Canouan. But before you look at those two interviews, I wish to show you a very important fact. The Prime Minister of this country said on Canouan recently that the call for a secondary school on the island was unreasonable. But the fact is, my dear people, in the ULP's manifesto of 2010, that's the 2010 elections, they say in their manifesto, one of the promises they make is to build a secondary school on Canouan. And I really want you to see it for yourselves. I am going to take your attention to the online page of the ULP manifesto, and on this page you will observe it is in fact the ULP's manifesto online. It's at voteulp.com, and you will notice that you have information about the election, their slogan, etc. And on this particular page, you observe, and I'm pointing with my pen, the Grenadines, our island jewels. So they're going to list for us what they're going to do in the Grenadines in their third term, if they get a third term. That's what they were saying. So they have a section where they list what they've done in the last 2 terms. And then when you scroll down, I'm going to show you this next section. Observe this sentence. In the ULP's third term, we will build upon this impressive list by. And then you have a set of what you call bullet points under that title, indicating what they will do in their third term. And I want you to look at the 4th bullet. You have bullet number 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 4th one says, building a secondary school on Canouan. I didn't make that up. It's written there in their manifesto. Yet we have the Honorable Prime Minister making a hue and cry and calling the Honorable Terence Oliver's request for a secondary school on Canouan unreasonable. But hear what the residents of Canouan have to say about that. Take a look. I'm talking to Bridget, and she's a mother who has had to send children to school on mainland St. Vincent. Tell us about your experience in light of this whole discussion about having a secondary school on Canouan.
Okay. First of all, my name is Bridget King. You know, I had my ups and my downs with the secondary school on mainland St. Vincent. Okay. I had 3 children at one time on mainland St. Vincent going to secondary school, and I had to have them in 3 different homes. Wow. You know, and it was real tough for me. Yes, I got some help, but you know, you could get how much help you could get. So for 3 children, you get help for 1. But you know, as a single mother, I have to be doing everything, and it was real hard. Another thing is that when children pass the school, there's the common entrance examination at the 10th age of 11, and they have to go to semester. Everything, most morals struck. But some of the people that your children stay, they are very nice people. But some again, yes, you pay them for your children to stay, but you know, they don't have the deep interest as you as a parent would have. You know, because you know you have certain standard and morals in your house that when you wake up in the morning, you have money and worship with your children. some people who your children go on the mainland to live with, they don't really do that. They will say the praise, yes, but the standard that you set at home, they won't get. So therefore, if we have a secondary school in Canouan, it will ease a lot of the burden. Okay. And our children, some of our young children, they will be with us for a little while longer. They did Form 3, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and then they go on the mainland. Some people are saying, oh, it is not feasible. I think it is feasible because there are a lot of parents from the mainland that are working down here, and they bring the children down here. Yes, they're saying that some of the children will want to go to the top secondary school in St. Vincent. But at the end of the day, I don't like what some people say, oh, the top school, girls' high school, grammar school, and this. At the end of the day, each of them teach the same thing. When these children from the JPU stars or from the Thomas Sanders anywhere when they pass, they all go to the same community college with the same set of subjects. You know, so it's, I don't think, and even though our children, the children when they left Canouan from Form 1, Form 2, and Form 3 and they want to go, they still have 2 more years to go in whatever school they want to.
Yes, I want to thank you very much for sharing with us, okay?
Yes,
I wish you all the best.
Yes, and you know, I mean, people might say, oh, this school, we don't want a school. Some people say, oh, why we didn't get this school long time. But you know, it is a different now. Things have changed. With the education revolution, where children, whether you pass yes or no, you're going to secondary school. You have access to secondary school. So therefore, we really need that secondary school in Canouan. It will take a good burden of our shoe. Whether we get help from the government, yes or no, because there are times when some parents, as I did, have more than 1 children going to secondary school and mainland.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you too. I'm here with Josine in Canouan, and she too would like to give her views on the issue. Josine, the Prime Minister said recently that the request for secondary school in Canouan is an unreasonable one.
That statement he made is an unreasonable statement because the secondary school in Canouan is the body financially and socially for the Canouan people.
You want to elaborate a bit on that?
Well, in terms of what I too had the experience of going to school and and it wasn't hard being away. It was very hard being away from home at a very young and tender age.
Okay.
And to be somebody, it will take a while for you to readjust to the environment and to the people and to the children who live there. And the task of not being home was pretty heavy. And sometimes, many nights I remember I used to cry because it was home. You know, something may not be treated. It so happened that, however, I was living with a very nice lady. But you know, when you live with children and they see that maybe their mother somewhere mistreated better than they think that she loves me more or something like that. It's a challenge, and I know personally from experience here in Canada of people who's going through a lot of struggles, financially especially, because they have to maintain 2 households.
Yes, I've heard of that. I also heard about children who dropped out because of dropped out of school, that is, because of not being able to continue school due to the fact that they had to change accommodation or couldn't find accommodation after a while.
That's true. Right here in my area, there are 2 children that I grew up in this particular village that have dropped out of school because they had proper accommodation, and sometimes they might have the accommodation but it's the money to sustain the accommodation, because you know, they have to pay board, you have to find money for transportation, you still might have to pay school fee in some instances, and then you have to maintain a household here.
Yes.
And these children, remember, sometimes children find it hard to readjust because what they can't do home, they'll be able to
I really hope that something could be done soon. It doesn't seem that there's a political will for it, although, interestingly, in the ULP manifesto of 2010, I just don't have a copy in front of me, but in the ULP manifesto of 2010, elections gone, they actually promised on the section, they promised, and I quote, the building of a secondary school on Canouan in the road. So I was very shocked by the statement.
That seemed to have been a political gimmick with so many other projects, but so many other promises. But a secondary school, if some people honestly who live here Look at this, the condition now of Canouan. Every year children set in common entrance, and every year children are going to mainland to pursue a secondary education. It's not every person here, every parent has the financial capability to do that. So many times sometimes children have to find a secondary education because of that reason. It would have been easier if they didn't have a whole lot of money to go to secondary school. If the secondary school was right here, it would have been much, much easier because you don't have to be worrying about your child all the time. The child have to be complaining. Your mind will be settled, your pocket will be good, and the pocket will be much better.
Thank you very much for sharing your principles, and I'm really sure
I want to thank you for taking the time for coming and for being interested in the views of Canouan people, because a lot of people have it as a political stunt. But a secondary school on an island could never damage the island. It could only enhance the island, the community. For example, it creates employment. Children have to pay teachers, that's employment. And a lot of people in Canouan itself do not have a secondary education. A lot of them would have dropped out of school and they back home. And by putting a secondary school to give them an opportunity to pursue evening classes. And yes, they will be able to get evening classes, not only with children themselves able to go to school, but it will make the island more literate by children getting the opportunity to go back to evening class. Because that's a problem Canouan is having right now, sister. There is nothing to do. There is no evening classes. There's a lady trying her best coming from Union Island to come to Canouan on weekends to give evening classes. That's only maths, but some people need English, some people probably want to do business, but because of a lack of a secondary school, it creates a tremendous burden.
So that facility can really offer wide benefits and wide cross-section of
course, it can only
society.
because this government just pushing education. Putting a secondary school can only enhance their vision of a education revolution. Because putting a secondary school here is not going to cripple the government. They say we do not have the population. If we do not have enough people for secondary school, to me, we should close on our primary school.
Interesting.
Why would we have a primary school if we can't facilitate a secondary school? If we have enough children for a primary school, which is 100 and something children attend secondary school right now, we have enough children for secondary school.
At least a start.
You have a start. And that's only the children of Canouan themselves in the school. We have to look at the fact that Canouan is a developing island. People come to Canouan for job opportunities to better themselves, and they would like to bring their children instead of leaving their children in Union Island or leaving their children in mainland St. Vincent. But because of a lack of a secondary school here, they cannot bring their children here, so they have to leave them in mainland. And the same problem that the Canouan people face, they face too, so they now see the need
To have a secondary school.
It's not a want or wish or dream, it's a real need.
Very well said.
It's a real need. I thank you for the opportunity to view my opinion, not only my opinion, but I know that I express the views of people in my community as well.
And I thank you very much for doing that.
Thank
Take
you.
care. God bless you. Right?
Too.
Yes, did you hear those things? Now, you have not even heard the majority of it. I want to let you know that the Honorable Terence Oliver will be bringing a special 1-hour feature to you on television via this program shortly. And now, let me take you to the area of Gome at the Gome Methodist School Hard Court, where 21-year-old ASCO, the Ashburton Sporting and Cultural Organization, recently had the opening of its netball tournament. I wish to say congratulations to Mr. Dennisford Foster, President of ASCO, and the other members of his executive and clubs for being in existence for so long as a community organization. Take a look at this footage.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the march past of ASCO netball competition. 19 years of supremacy in Daphne. I'm begging up these solid. I'm looking at my story. Don't give me hands together for Miss Fox. We ask everyone around to stand as we respect the national anthem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Especially, this is our national month.
Loyalty and love and vow to keep you ever free.
I am very honored this afternoon to be the MC of this special occasion. We have our own first national player, I believe, from our era, Miss Agatha Matthews. Put your hands together for nationality. We have Bonnie Alicott, who played for St. Vincent, right here, starting right here in ASCO competition.
Teams, sponsors, spectators, and I see Miss Anita Battis up there as well, and her husband taking some shots. Any mileage, we appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome one and all to this, the 19th annual ASCO Netball Championship. This competition, as you all are well aware, should have got started since the 9th of October. But due to unforeseen circumstances and the unreadiness of teams, we were forced to push it back to today. But all things work together for good, and today is a good day to start this our 19th netball tournament. And indeed, I want to welcome all of you, in particular the new teams. We have Maple Netball Club, the powerhouse of netball in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I must say in the OECS sub-region as well. We are indeed happy to have you, and we know that you will bring to this tournament a lot of skills and professionalism, and I hope that the youngsters will look carefully to the skills displayed by this club and try and emulate them as much as possible. Also, I wish to welcome for the very first time to Gome, the Ministry of Transport and Works, my ministry, and of course, we will do some work in Gome. I said we. All the best to you, Transport and Works. Then those are the new teams. And of course, we have ASCO Alliance, a new team. And of course, you will hear more about ASCO Alliance in the future. But welcome to you to this tournament. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, the ASCO Netball Tournament is a tournament that is well looked forward to over the years. And it brings a lot of excitement and entertainment to the people of this community. As soon as one tournament is finished, the people ask when for the next ASCO Netball Championship. And indeed, we here acknowledges the importance of sports to our people, and we will continue, even without sponsorship, to bring netball to Gome and to try and develop netball in whatever capacity possible by our club in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Netball, as Mrs. Holder would have mentioned, is good for you, and she identifies a lot of benefits that it will bring. Apart from your physical fitness, it gives you the opportunity to work together as teams, as players, to try to develop your leadership skills, build teamwork, and numerous other advantages that you will get from being involved in this sport. We in Gome are very committed towards the development of netball. This year alone we had some 4 teams in the National Netball Championship. Not because we want to boast about having a lot of teams in that competition, but because we want to expose our netballers, especially the young ones at a tender age, to competition that is much higher than what we offer here at Gome. I want to congratulate the ASCO Veterans team, who would have won the inaugural Veterans Division in the National Championship. We have one player in the neon green and yellow. Wave your hand so that everybody can see. Yes, we have the veteran national champions right here in Gome, and we are very proud. The senior ASCO netball team in the national competition for the past 2 years And Brogny is the best under 23 netballer in the OECS. Put your hands together for Brogny. Many will question that, but that was the judge's decision, and we are very happy to have such a player in this area. Apart from netball, ladies and gentlemen, I like to boast when we accomplish something. For the past 4 years, my organization would have been playing in the National First Division Handball Championship. And I am proud to say that in 2011, we emerged champions of the National First Division. I told the Minister, Mr. Hillocks, at our opening this year, when they handed over some guests to us, that we won't let them down. And indeed, we have delivered. Next year, 2012, we will be promoted to the National Premier Division, where we'll be playing among the best cricketers in the island. Comment of me to say that last month, September, my organization celebrated our 21st anniversary as a community organization. And we would have celebrated a week of activities under the theme, "We are blessed with 21 years of steady progress." A young lady was elected to be my deputy, and I want to say that this young lady has a lot of energy. She is the person in charge of the cultural aspect of the organization. She's a dancer, young Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, my Vice President, Holly Ann Franklin.
My best banner for 2011. Okay, at this time I know the players been standing for a very, very long time. So at this time we're going to have the mash off of teams. So Mr. Chandler. So let's have a little music as a team match off court.
Ball now, find a way attack to the goal. Find goal, shoot, and try to make us unsure punch scores. So the game is level at this moment. Once again, wherever you are, we want to invite you to come here. There's a middle school hard court and witness netball at its fullest. We see Maples on the ball now. The ball is with the goal shoot now. She's looking for a player. She's over now and she finds the wing attack. The wing attack find the goal attack now. There's the infringement. And he goes up with a shot, fails to score. The ball collected by the goalkeeper. Paces up by Fuzzy. Up with attack center with the ball now trying to find a goal shoot. Goal defense, the ball with the wing defense, with attack for it. Paces now find goal attack. Up with a shot. 1-1 for the score. The ball put it there very well there by the goal shoot. For Paces now find a goal shoot for Maples. There's an infringement here and we see now looking for the goal attack, find her, she put a shot, fail to score, the goalkeeper, Paces find the ball now, the goal defense, a long pass there to the goal attack, long there to the goal shoot for Paces, now put a shot now, let's see what the others. Now the ball is now with the wing attack for Maples and there's a tumble there. The ball is now with the center for Paces now. The goal defense with the ball, find the goal attack. The goal attack over now, find the center. Looking for the goal shooter, he finds it. Turns around now, looking to the whistle goes here. An impingement against them now. The goalkeeper Maples with the ball. Find the goal defense now trying to find the player. The ball intercepted well here, find the goal attack for Paces. All to the goal shoot and Maples shot. And shoot for Maples running over the goal line. Try to pull back here. By the goal attack, but he fails. Now the ball is with Maples. Now let's see what we're looking for. Play find the center. She got the ball and she's trying to look for play find the goal defense. Goal defense with the ball. Down and down. The ball seems to be intercepted here by the goal defense for Paces. She with the ball up with a shot and she failed to score. Collected the rebound. Turn around, try the second try and she makes it count. So yes, you're not missing any netball. My name is Michael Foster, just trying to carry the first part of this game, and we hope that we'll have the next commentator next one. The goal defense with the ball. Sorry, the goal attack. Find the goal shoot for Maples. And she up with a shot. Somebody's up to the ball to the goal shoot and he makes it out. See if you that ball indeed. You're not missing out on anything, but there's nice netball down over for Naples. Find the center, turn around, find a way, go goal attack, and find a goal shoot this time. The ball just is good, and she goes up for the shot, and she makes it good. The game is going very well at this time. The players are moving very well. I believe there are two experienced teams are playing here, and they're really showing their colors. The goal shooter may blow the ball, and it makes it good. I understand. The ball is now back with the goal shooter. He's still game is going on the court.
Yes, once again, congrats to ASCO. I applaud the existence of such community organizations and wish you well as you go about your business there in West St. George. Also, I would like to make a very special appeal as we come to the end of this program. Most of you may have heard by now of Miss Shanika Small, who is 20 years old, of Daphne. She was living there and she has been missing since Friday the 21st of October 2011. News says that she was last seen in the Heritage Square area and also in Aunt Job's area, but she has been missing since then. Up to the time of this recording, which is Tuesday 25th of October 2011, Shanika is not found. I was advised by the police that 2 more searches took place on Tuesday 25th for her, the second of which finished about after 3 p.m. Search dogs were used as well. No evidence of Shanika has turned up as yet. We hope for the best, relatives hope for the best. Serving the people wishes to say to you, the relatives of Shanika, her mom, her dad, Veril Small in America, whom I know, we wish to tell you that we are sorry about this unfortunate development, and with you we hope and pray for the best. And may God strengthen you as you endure this trying time. Those of you out there, Shanika has been described as brown in complexion. She's 5 feet 11 inches tall, 125 pounds, with brown eyes and relaxed shoulder length hair. If you see her, if you hear anything at all, any conversation about her with information that you think could lead to finding her, please contact the Calico Police Station, contact Police Officer Bailey or any other police officer you can get to, and give any information that you may have. It is very important that as a society we care about one another and don't just turn the blind eye and tell yourself, well, it has nothing to do with you. It could have been you. So please, if you see her, if you hear anything that you think could help in the investigations, please contact a police officer. Say something to somebody that they may contact a police officer, and let's work together to see what we can do in the interest of finding Shanika Small. Until our next program, may God bless you. We love you all very much. And I also want to say a special hello to Jevonique Ledlow. I know it's hard for you and your daddy right now because your mommy has passed away, but I want you to remember that Jesus loves you very much, and I love you too, and I'll be praying for your family continually. Remember that you may contact this program by dialing telephone number 528-1015, or you may send an email to servingthepeople.ab@gmail.com. Until next time, may God bless you. Amen.